Hi everyone, it's August 13th and it's Sandra here. This is Eat My Shorts, and my gosh, there's still cotton left over here, but no time like the present. I have been wanting to pull castings out of here for a long time because we have been so busy getting castings into the garden. We've actually run out of places to put them, and we've put places twice. So these worms need to get some new bedding, and these castings need to go into storage totes so that they can finish up in a tote and I can get Eat My Shorts rejuvenated, because we are getting Gilligan back up and running again. So let me just turn over this section that I assume is where I'm going to find the bulk of the finished castings, and I'll just throw anything that is big over here, although I'm obviously going to have to sift these castings. Lots of cocoons in here, I see. And so these castings, I've treated them up with some powdered leaves at, once, I believe, in the last maybe month and a half, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. And so the castings have a nice moisture. They're probably on the slight damp side, which is probably good for the fact that I haven't been checking in as regularly. We've been really busy. And so, you know, having the bin a little bit on the damp side is probably the best way to go, rather than a little bit on the dry side when you know you're going to be a little bit preoccupied. So these castings look like they are good to pull out. And so what I'm going to do, obviously, is I'm going to pull out the obvious big things that I see here. Sorry about moving the bin around. I'm just going to pull out the obvious big things. I see sprouts. Where are my worms? Well, the worms are probably in the feeding area. There's a cocoon. Oops, that was a pill bug, actually. I saw he was right going over a cocoon there. Anyway, but there are cocoons in here. And so what I want to do is I want to rejuvenate this bin, pull these castings out. They have been in here long enough, and then feed up Eat My Shorts again with new bedding, because when we get Gilligan up and running in the next few weeks for the winter, I can't believe I'm saying that, for the fall and winter, we will be using the contents of Eat My Shorts as well as the contents of Peekaboo, and maybe 1 or 2 of my other systems will all be emptied into Gilligan, and all of these beautiful worms will be heading out for a winter outside in our converted paddling pool. Our granddaughter has used the paddling pool, and she's gone home to go back into, well, get back into school, into grade 1. Yay, Micah. So let me just pause this up, and I am going to pull out this side of the bedding into a tote system, and then I'll bring you back when I'm ready to feed up the rest of the bin. All right, so here's the vermicompost that Landon and I just pulled out. They're quite moist. We sifted with our it's about 1/3 of an inch sifter, but there are still fragments that went through vertically. Obviously, a lot of worms went in here, and cocoons. And so these castings are going to, or this vermicompost is going to sit for probably 6 weeks or more. And so I don't mind that it's not totally finished. This becomes essentially another worm bin. It becomes Eat My Shorts sort of stage 2. And the worms that are in here, the little pill bugs that are in here, and the cocoons that are in here will live together, and they'll finish this up. And at the end of that period, I'll decide then, am I going to pull all these worms out? Am I going to add them to another tote? What am I going to do? Am I going to store them for the winter? And so, you know, I have lots of options. It's early August. These castings will be good to go mid or late October. Maybe we'll use them to dress up our garden, and I won't even have to worry about pulling worms. Anyway, so these are the castings that we pulled from Eat My Shorts, or the vermicompost that we pulled from Eat My Shorts. So let me just pause here and I will show you what the bin looks like. Okay, so we're back here with the remnants of Eat My Shorts. So let's see what's under this side with the remnants of the shorts, the worms. Come on, it's dense material. Remember, I've got the waistband with the elastic and everything all in here. I've been feeding in this zone to try to encourage the worms to eat my shorts. And so Landon and I did not find the bulk of Eat My Shorts' worms. When we were sifting, you can see that this material is just replete with worms. Look at that. They're everywhere. They're crawling all over. So this is now going to become the bottom, the basement to the rebuild of the Eat My Shorts bin. Look at, there's the remnants of the corn husks being in here a long time, but is now just threads, as is that feeding bag. I think that came from the original Gilligan this spring. There's a nice avocado shell, nice and cleaned out by the worms. These castings are moist. In fact, too moist. You can see they're a bit muddy almost, not clumpy, but definitely moist. Lots of worms in here, lots everywhere you go. Worms, worms, worms. Oops. Oh, and I've just uncovered, I've kind of uncovered not a hornet's nest, but a worm nest. Look at that. There, I didn't even get down to there when I was doing my digging. And there's a bundle of the worms right there. Here's the compost bag. So let's rip it open and see what the worms did with not only the contents of the bag, but also the bag itself. These are those bags that I am curious whether they disappear in their entirety. And so we will be finding out as these worms continue to process all this material. It's been a while since we've been in here. And so this bag, I can tell that there's a little bit of smell to this material, which means that the bags don't have good airflow for decomposition. I mean, there are worms in here, which means it's not anaerobic, it's not toxic, there's no ammonia smell to it, but it smells like you would not like to have sitting on your kitchen counter for very long. So you can see banana peels and all sorts of things in here. So I'm just going to lay that bag down. Look, here's a piece of plastic that must be from the first bag that I put in here. Almost reminds me of that Starbucks cup I've got in Cinderella. And it's so shiny, but you know it is thinner than the Starbucks plastic. This is cellulose. It's ripping easily. Let's hope it disappears. So instead of feeding these worms that yummy watermelon I've brought, I've now dispersed their food over a wider area, and I'm not going to give them food. Instead, what I'm going to give them are leaves. I'm going to give them that semi-processed leaf mold that Landon dug out from our mattress bags. Now, leaves are food. There's no doubt about it. But importantly, they also carry with them a lot of microbes. And those microbes will break down that food that was in the composting bag quickly. It'll take care of the odor that Landon and I felt when we dug it up. So I will be, because this is in our house, I'm just going to make sure I've got a good layer of leaves over everything. And actually the smell has disappeared with even adding that many leaves. Just by covering it up like that, haven't smelled it. So these leaves are, what, about 8.5, 9 months old now in our leaf mold area. So you can see that they are partly broken down. The worms will love them and eat my shorts. And when the time is right, all of this bin is going to now be emptied into Gilligan. We won't be harvesting it again because we're going to get Gilligan up and running probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And this whole bin will be emptied in there. So eat my shorts no more. Depends whether I pull the cotton out of it, but we will be emptying this into Gilligan and it'll get finished up in there over the fall and winter months. All right, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.